Weather is tropical, mild, so it's 80s almost the whole year round, so 80 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit the whole year round. There are two seasons, the wet season and the dry season. So the wet season starts, I guess it would be about August is when it really starts. October is like the rainiest month. There's always a 6-day monsoon, everyone calls it, where it rains for 6 days straight and everything floods. And then by April, it's wet season's done. It's the dry season, and it's very dry, so it like doesn't rain for several months, and that's when you get water shortages happening, and start bathing with a water sachet you bought off the street or something. So it's beautiful though. The landscape is very tropical, lots of green trees, red dirt. Freetown is a city, so they've got tall buildings that are in it and paved roads in Freetown. When you get out of Freetown, there's one main paved road that goes through the whole country up until you reach Kenema, and then it's a dirt road to Liberia. And then besides that, they're all just dirt roads. The main mode of transportation is either taxis, so you can purchase a taxi for 1,000 leones, which is like 25 cents, and that will take you a certain distance within the city. They have kind of preset locations. Outside of Freetown, the main taxi is a motorcycle. It's actually a scooter. They call them Okadas, so it's 1,000 leones to get an Okada ride across Bo or across Kenema. And they also have poda-podas. So a poda-poda is like a big taxi. It's a van that's been shelled out, and there's lots of rows of seats, and they just pack as many people as they can get in there. And those kind of go longer distances than taxis. The food is delicious. When I first arrived, I did not like it. Rice is life. That's the motto of Sierra Leone. So you can eat bread and fruits and other stuff, but if you haven't eaten rice, you haven't eaten. So they eat rice for breakfast and dinner. So that's usually 2 meals a day, breakfast and dinner. And usually they cook it for dinner and then eat the leftovers for breakfast. That's what everyone typically eats. And almost everyone just cooks on a 3-stone fire with wood or charcoal. In the missionary apartment, though, you have an oven usually and a stove or a portable gas stove that you can use. So the food, the main staple, so it's always rice and then with different toppings. So the main topping is cassava leaf. So cassava is a root like a potato that you can just pull it up from the ground, peel it, and eat it. It's a great energy source. It actually tastes really good. But more than the root, they eat the leaves off the cassava, which are actually poisonous unless you cook them. So they peel the leaves off the cassava plant, and then they crush it up in a mortar and pestle. Then they'll add fish parts and hot peppers, onions, which are yabas, and they mix it all together, and then they boil it with palm oil. And then you put that on top of rice. So it's this kind of green goop that sits on top of the rice. And at first, when I first saw it, I was like, what is this green goop? And I grew to love it. It was my favorite dish. I could eat cassava all day. It's wonderful. Other popular dishes are potato leaves. So same thing as the cassava. It's from a sweet potato plant, and those, instead of crushing it, they cut them up into thin slices, cook it very much the same way, but it has a different taste. And then there's peanut butter soup. Nikki Supui and Mendi is it's a Mendi dish. And it's palm oil and ground nuts is what they call peanut butter. Groundnut paste is peanut butter, and ground nuts are peanuts. So they put ground nut in it, palm oil, fish, spices, and then you put that on top of rice, and that is very delicious. And then there's fry soup. So fry soup is just hot peppers, onions, oil, like vegetable oil, and then fish. And that one's kind of a classier dish, and it's really good as well. So those are the main staples. Then they sell bread. Fula bread is the main bread they sell on the street. It's kind of a hard bread, and a lot of nights we just have bread and eggs. We buy eggs off the street. They're never refrigerated, and don't worry, they don't make you sick. They just don't refrigerate stuff there. So the eggs and the mayonnaise and everything, they all just have it out all day. But it somehow doesn't make you sick, and so we'd eat that, or sardines on bread, pretty typically. And then there's also a few groceries, like supermarkets is what they're called. They're kind of like convenience stores. So that's where the wealthy people shop. And they've got some American dishes, canned foods, refrigerated section. If you want to get ice cream, that's where it is. So you can't buy a whole lot from there. Subsistence, you can't buy every day from there, but it's a lot of good stuff you can buy.